Good morning, everyone. Under the authority granted to me by the Sault College Board of Governors and the Province of Ontario, I hereby declare this convocation to be officially open for the granting of degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Please be seated.
Please stand and join in the singing of our national anthem. You may all be seated. My name is Colin Kirkwood. I am the Vice President Academic and Research at Sault College. On behalf of everyone at the college, I welcome each of you to this convocation ceremony. Thank you for joining us today. We will be hearing from a few speakers with messages to share with you as you graduate. We will then present diplomas and certificates to each of you, our most recent graduates. We send appreciation to all staff and volunteers who helped make today possible. Very well done, and thank you. We'd like to once again extend our thanks to Andrew John Services, Jennifer Redison, Registrar, Jerry Davies, Retiree Representative, Ryan Davison, SCSU Vice President, Student Life, Jonathan Nolan, SCSU Native Student Council President, Lynn Gagne, Chair, Sault College Board of Governors, Dr. Ron Common, President, Christina Lingell, Keynote Speaker, David Orizetti, Dean, School of Aviation, Trades, Technology, Natural Environment, and Business, Sherry Smith, Chair, Natural Environment, Business and Media, in attendance today. Dr. Lorraine Frost, Penny Perrier. Thank you very much. I would ask our faculty seated in the floor area to stand and be acknowledged by their graduates, families, and friends. I would like to thank the faculty for their hard work and dedication over the past year. Your efforts have made today's celebration possible and will certainly contribute to the success of our graduates. Our first speaker today is Dr. Ron Common, President of Sault College. He holds a PhD in Educational Administration and over the past 10 years has helped the college expand and succeed like never before. His achievements include growing enrollment of the college and securing funding for many recent buildings, including IE3, the Institute of Environment, Education, and Entrepreneurship, the Franklin Prowse Waterfront and Tennis Center, and the Early Childhood Education Center. In 2014, he received the Order of Ontario for his outstanding contribution to education. Dr. Common?
2017. This is a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge your achievements as a graduating class and the best day of the year to be the president of this college. As an educator, all educators, we love to see our students succeed. Thank you all who have come here today. It's a pleasure to welcome your family and your friends, some of whom have traveled from out of town to join in this important and joyous celebration. At Sault College, we pride ourselves on providing a personal touch, so you'll see informality today, maybe some screw-ups like a few minutes ago. If young children act up, don't worry. We see them as the sweet sounds of future students. In trying to make our convocations personal, we have scheduled 4 graduation ceremonies this year so that each graduate gets the recognition they deserve. So graduates, take your time when you walk across the stage. Enjoy your moment. Get a picture. There's some controversy of the best place for a picture. I personally think it's when your colorful president gives you your diploma. But graduates, you can take great pride in your accomplishments today with public recognition of a job well done. Today's your day. You know you should be justifiably proud, but I'm sure you recognize that you have not succeeded on your own. As is our tradition at Sault College, I'd like the graduates all to stand, face your family, your parents, your partners, your friends, applaud them for the support they've given you over the years. Graduates? Opened its doors So in the fall of 1965, our institution opened its doors as the Sault Ste. Marie Ontario Vocational Centre, or OVC, and we had a student population of 400. Some of the first programs in the first year included civil engineering, technician, business, welding, and secretarial. The OVCs evolved into the Ontario Community Colleges, and in 1967, the Ontario government established a system of colleges of applied arts and technology, more often known as community colleges. By 1973, Sault College of Applied Arts and Technology added key programs in forestry, mechanical drafting, and geology. Now, Sault College has grown a lot over the years. We've added programs in a wide variety of disciplines, including Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Aviation Flight, Social Work, Police Training, IT, now in 2017, Robotics. Our dedicated faculty and staff and administration respond to the post-secondary educational needs of more than 4,500 part-time and full-time students each year at Sault College. And in the last 50 years, we have graduated your grandparents' and parents-centric behaviors through the years. Incidentally, I took a number of those manual duplicators to Africa a few years ago, and they were still being put to great use by teachers in schools without electricity. But it's important in this description, I used a manual typewriter in 1969. This technology was relatively unchanged since it was created in the 1820s. Think about that. The same machine for 150 years. Now look at how fast things are changing in the late 20th century. The pace of change is dramatically accelerating. Thomas Friedman points out that even 15 years ago, Facebook didn't exist, Twitter was still a sound, clouds were in the sky, 4G was my manned drone to the rooftop of your hotel. And in 2001, it cost $100 million to DNA sequence a person's genome. 100 million. In 2017, you can get your entire genome sequence for under $1,000. It's hard to predict what the future holds in this fast-changing world. I hope we're going to be better at it than even techno-guru biology, but I think this is impossible. Then the answer is to be innovative in everything other than technology. We have to figure out what we can do better with machines, or better with machines. And at the college, we need to train people for these roles. We need to continue to develop imagination, innovativeness, creativity, adaptability, empathy, communication skills. These soft skills will be the assets in the future. In 50 years, our IT grads know we've gone from mainframe computers to desktop, to laptops, to smartphones with mobile applications. With the mainframe, you needed a computer science degree to access them. Today, smartphones can be accessed by children and the illiterate. I've done a lot of work in Africa over the years, and in fact, Sault College currently has a project with 2 colleges in Tanzania. And I have a favorite picture at home of a Maasai warrior in Kenya, a personal friend of mine. He has a spear, a club, a bow and arrow, and a smartphone on his belt. With cell technology in the developing world, we have skipped over the need for landlines and even electricity. I've seen people charging their phones on solar panels and off of electric fences. I'm confident we have prepared you so that you can thrive in the age of accelerating change and meet the challenges of the next 50 years. There are some people suggesting the majority of jobs in 15 years will be jobs that have not been invented yet. I think a more conservative estimate is that 1/3 of the jobs in 15 years will be new. This means for you, you are on a journey of lifelong learning. This will not be your last graduation, as you will need to retrain and reinvent yourself a few times during your working life. You will need to have a positive attitude toward change, but I know you are adaptable and resilient and will handle change. Sault College is going to have to be flexible and adaptable too. We have to learn new skills, develop new programs to prepare people for the new jobs that will be developed. We will be here to welcome you back to Sault College as we embark together on fulfilling the needs of the workplace of the future. 50 years ago, we had virtually no Aboriginal students attending Sault College. I'm proud to say, in addition to Indigenous education, Sault College is developing an international reputation. We are involved in projects in Barbados, Africa, and China. Recently, I have been in China and Tanzania, and when I visit such countries, I'm reminded of the precious gift that you have received and for which you're being recognized today. You have received the gift of education. In China, in many areas, there are only post-secondary places for about a quarter of the graduating high school students. In Tanzania and many other such countries, there's only free primary education. After that, only a minority of the population can continue, and often only the wealthier families can afford to get a post-secondary education. With child labor, many children can only dream about going to this thing called a school. In many countries, there's a sharp drop-off in enrollment in secondary level, especially for women, and worse when it comes to post-secondary education. In many countries, girls and women are disenfranchised from getting an education. By comparison, 50 years ago at Sault College, we had a gender gap with significantly fewer females than males attending the college. This year, we have achieved parity or equity. 50.5% of our students are female, 49.5% of our students are male. So I commend you on taking advantage of the post-secondary opportunity provided to you. Please don't take it for granted. In the future, and an appropriate advice from my years as an educator, take chances, aim high. The famed philosopher Wayne Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Take risks. Just go for it. Maybe create your own jobs. If you crash and burn trying, it's still better than if you never tried at all. Unless, of course, you're an aviation graduate. Now, it's not good. Don't listen to people who know what is not possible. Just do what needs to be done." Nansen, a Nobel Prize laureate, said, "The difficult is what takes a little time. The impossible is what takes a little longer." In closing, let me say congratulations to you all. May your future and the next 50 years be filled with great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Common. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium our next speaker, Lynn Gagne, Chair of Sault College's Board of Governors, a volunteer and leader in our organization. Ms. Gagne?
Members of the Platform Party, faculty, staff, guests, and graduates. On behalf of the Sault College Board of Governors, I'm really honored to extend congratulations to you, the Sault College graduating class of 2017. Someone said that a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And today's convocation is really a testament of the many steps you have taken along the way to reach this milestone. Today, it's really all about you. And you're stronger, more confident, and you did it while juggling work, many of you, family, work life, giving back to the community. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun along the way as well, but you did it. With the post-secondary education that you received here from Sault College, your future is paved with endless possibilities. Your success is fundamental to our existence. Everyone here at the college is committed to a roadmap that helped pave the way for each of you and for future students. We strive to offer a unique college experience that changed your life, one that gave you the education that you wanted and more, and where you learned from faculty, from each other, a place where you really mattered, a second home. At Sault College, you might know that we make it a priority to transform lives through empowering those who study with us to think and learn in progressive and innovative ways. We do want to make a difference in the lives of our students. I know that you also made a difference in ours during your time with us, and that gives our work meaning, and it energizes us to build on our successes. To you, I'm saying that I'm confident that what you've learned and experienced at Sault College will pave the way to your success. Follow what you're passionate about and let that be your guide. Wherever your journey will take you, we really do hope that you keep in touch. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Ms. Gagne. I would now like to welcome our keynote speaker, Christina Lingell. Christina graduated from Sault College's Computer Engineering Technology program. She is the Vice President of Global Professional Services at Kronos, a global provider of workforce management software. Christina is responsible for driving the strategy to deliver exceptional services while increasing customer satisfaction and loyalty worldwide. She manages over 800 professionals globally. Welcome, Ms. Lingell.
Wow, I would have never thought I'll be back here. Are you guys excited? Are you excited? Are you really excited? That's it? I think they want to stay for another few more years. But listen. Do you hear that? That's a sigh of relief from your family, friends, and from your professors as well. Finally, I think they're getting rid of you. So when I was asked to come here to speak to you, I was very, very honored. And to be honest, I was profoundly confused. What possibly can I tell you? What kind of wisdom can I share with you, especially after all these years that you spent in this wonderful college? It was really hard for me I was always shy about talking about myself and my experience because there are so many people who have a much more tough life and they have a wider experience that I have. But I figured, if nothing else, I can share some of it with you how I got here. You know, I am really nothing different. I'm just like you. Maybe a little bit older, not necessarily wiser, but I'm just like you. I was sitting here not that long ago. At least I would love to believe that. When I was about a teenager, I loved math, and I loved physics. And I always wanted to build bridges. I was absolutely fascinated with these magnificent structures connecting two seemingly different worlds. So I went on my path. I studied hard in high school. I was rebellious as always. But then I got into a point where I had to write my entrance exam at the university. This was back in Hungary. Hungary at the time was still under communist suppression, and choices were various things to show off how smart I am. And then all of a sudden, a professor came up to me while the exam. An older gentleman who walked up to me and he asked me who I am, and I gave him my name. And he looked at me and he asked me a question. He says, "Do you know how many people are sitting in this auditorium?" I said, "I don't know, but is this a question? Is it a tough question?" I said, "I don't know, a few hundreds." And he says, "Yeah, there is about 500 people in this auditorium writing an exam, just like you, trying to get into this university." And he looked at me, he says, "You know what? No matter how well you do, you will always be the last one on the list." I was very confused. And then he said, "Do you know why?" And I said, I am from a small town. The worst thing I did is stole a bike to run to the store, and then I put it back where I found it. But so I don't know. They said, "You are not part of the party. You don't follow party line. You are not part of the Communist Party. So no matter how well you do, you're never going to get here." I was crushed. I was denied an education that I worked for, that I thought I can be anything and everything. I was even calling my mother and father. So I went across the border. My parents didn't know where I was going. They had no idea I disappeared. And I actually ended up in a refugee camp in Austria, in Traiskirchen. I registered, and this is an organization that, although established in Austria, it's sponsored by a lot of international organizations, and it's really not managed by any of the countries, but managed by these institutions. So I ended up in the refugee camp and started to figure out what I want to do with my life. But I knew that whatever I want to do, I will not be able to achieve it back in Hungary. So after I registered, there was a lot of things that happened in the camp. This is no man's land, literally no man's land. Talk about the wild, wild west. The conditions were indescribable, or at least I haven't yet allowed myself to truly go back in time and revisit, hence verbalize the experience I had. And it really didn't matter. But one thing I really learned throughout this experience, we are absolutely resilient, right? It's amazing what we can do. It's hard work. I worked very hard. I had a lot of options. Yes, I could have been a prostitute making money on the side. A lot of people failed to do that. But you could also work hard within the condition. Right? I became fearless. I had very low precious possessions. I had no physical possessions, but I knew that I had one thing. I had my personal integrity and I had my drive. And it's nothing valuable enough to trade any of that. So people often ask, such as Canada, that I applied for, US, and many other countries. And throughout this uncertainty, I actually become, to the sadness of my family, I become an absolute control freak. Right? My family still think I'm suffering from masturbation. That's MUST, for those of you sitting out there, MUST, which Dr. Ellis, the psychology today, described him as the greatest living psychologist, refers to, and let me read this, the emotional and cognitive demand resulting in self-defeating behavior. I must. So there is nothing I don't must. I become fearless. Don't worry, it's not contagious, at least not the last I checked. So my word of advice to you is don't decide to take. It's going to keep you on the path. But also remember, the world is not static. Tomorrow will never, ever be the same as today, no matter how well you plan. It will change. Your goal will change accordingly. So that's fine. You know, as long as it's your journey, stick to it. So let me get back to my story a little bit. After I was in the refugee camp for close to a year, Canada graciously granted me a landed immigrant status. I got notified early March to pack my bag and get on the plane to Canada. And on it was about March 17 in 1987. I actually arrived and then I studied in German, but I had no idea what he wanted, but he was very kind and gentle and ushered me around and actually dropped me off at the infamous Algonquin Hotel. I don't know if you've been around 30 years ago, but if you've ever been around 30 years ago, around Algonquin Hotel, this is not the place you want to be. So I was put in this shabby room that was charged by the hours, the rowdy people. I figured I was exhausted, I was anxious. I said, look, I'm just going to go to bed and hopefully the morning will be better. After a rough night, I woke up, opened the shades, looked out, and there is the Sault, covered in ugly, dirty, yellow-spotted snow. Right? It was cold. It allowed on our television set Dallas. I'm not in Dallas, right? So I figured, what the hell, I can't go back. I don't have money. So a few hours later, actually, someone showed up. A translator showed up. And he came in his ski outfit. He just came back from Searchmont. And he walked in. He was a tall gentleman. Some of you actually probably know him. He was Peter Silagi. And he looked at me with his judging eyes. So, what do you know? It's like, I am 19, for the love of God, you know. I know everything and I know nothing. So he looks at me again. So, what do you like? And if any of you know Peter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have taken class from him, God bless you. But I said, but then one day, Agnes, Peter's wife, came by and picked me up. He says, let's go for a ride. I said, okay, let's go for a ride. And she was heading toward the college. So I figured, you know, we're going to come in, we're going to have lunch with Peter and just socialize. Oh, not so fast. She took me to one of the auditorium. I can't recognize it anymore. And she kind of pushed me in and shut the door. It's like, oh my God, here we go again. Here's another auditorium. The auditorium was full with non-suspecting people, you know, some of them older, some of them younger, some of them are my age. Actually, it turned out to be a lot of the laid off Algoma Steel workers that are never in my life felt so shamed. I was embarrassed. I felt that this was the worst thing anybody could do to me. Right? I was so afraid of how I'd been perceived in the room. I didn't speak any language, and I was just sitting there. So Peter came up to me. A lot of people come up to me after, again, I started to cry and told them that this is the embarrassment, this is the end of our friendship. And he looked at me. He said, why do you care what anybody in that room thinks, what they judge you or not judge you, what they think about you? Just focus on yourself and forget it. And he says, just go back next day and just see how you did. Well, I did pretty damn well. Although I didn't get qualified for the program, I was gently hinted by the local agent that we brought you here to work, not to study. But I said, oh, well, I'll do it my way. So far, it's been working out for me. So actually, late in 87, I started the college. So shortly after I arrived, I started the college. And it was quickly realized I was surrounded by amazing, amazing people here. I felt safe. I felt home. Attending new math classes and electronic classes made me calm my anxiety. It was the language I understood, the math, the numbers, the bits and the bytes. It had no emotions, no social expectations. People here at the school and the larger community became my new family. They welcomed me, they encouraged me. The family that had tough love, trust me, there was tough love, encouragement and overwhelming belief in my abilities. They had faith in me, faith that I never thought I had. I had nothing and I had everything. You know the song, "The diamonds are the girl's best friend"? Let me tell you something. The songwriter Jules Stein and Leo Robin, they were wrong. Your friends are diamonds. And Mr. Davis, you are my golden jubilee. Thank you. So when I approached the end of the college, uncertainty surfaced again. Right? What am I going to do next? And I bet some of you already feel anxious out there. No, that's not the hangover or the wooziness from last night's pre-graduation party. That is anxiety, I'm sure. So with that said, you need to take charge. You heard it earlier, and I'm going to encourage you to continue to take charge. You have to make decisions. Don't wait for the decisions to be made for you. There are very few things in life that you're going to decide that is going to be irreversible. There are a lot of regrets in life. But when you start looking back in your life, you're going to regret a lot more of things that you haven't done than the actual things that you have done. And you are really become stupid and do something really, really crazy about. And the regrets that you're going to look back upon, you can always correct them. So make decisions. And just think about 4 mistakes. The mistakes made me. And I am very proud of them. Right? So don't be afraid. Just go and take charge. After I graduated here, I started to work at the steel mill. I'm not going to take you through my career. And had a lot of jobs and challenges along the way. But that's okay. Challenge is going to face you every time. I became a perpetual student. You heard earlier, trust me, it will happen to you as well. You will never stop learning. And ladies out there, I am a woman in technology and the business world, managing thousands of people, flying around the world. I'm often asked about the glass ceiling, right? Can I get there? Glass ceiling? You mean the thick layer of man above you? Yep, they are there. But you know what? The thick layer also exists below you, around you, and you're different. That's okay. I'm different. Look at me. I don't speak your typical executives. I don't dress like your typical executive. God, I don't even drive the same car as the rest of the executives. But that's okay, right? I have no problem navigating through the system, and neither should you. Don't let people victimize you. You're not victims. It's okay to be different. You could be white or black or old and young or tall and short or skinny or fat or have any kind of differences. Celebrate them. Thank God we are different, right? Who would want to wake up with me all the time, right? But today you are... Today you are just receiving a diploma and getting an opportunity. Take the first step and grab onto it. Remember, high IQ, EQ, or any standardized academic test that you took is a proof merely that you scored well on that test. As you step away with your diploma in hand, know your worth. But be prepared to pay your dues. Along your professional journey, don't just collect money. Trust me, money is easier it comes than you may think. Collect smiles. Smiles from people whose life you will be fortunate enough to touch. Remember, life, as in a taxi, the meter is always running. Make good use of the time you spend in transit. And lastly, if you are ever lost, stop. Pick up a kaleidoscope, look at the world through it, and as Rosebeth Moss Kanter said, you look at the set of elements, the same ones everyone else sees, but then reassemble those floating bits and pieces into an enticing new possibilities. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you, Ms. Lingel. And thank you again to all our speakers. And now for the presentation of Lear pipes, certificates, and diplomas. I will ask that the members of the platform party responsible for this part of the ceremony please approach the front of the stage, and that students prepare to line up as directed by the marshal. Sherry Smith, Chair of Natural Environment, Business and Media. Laurie Crossan, Program Manager, and Corey Meunier, Chair of Technology and Skilled Trades. Presenting the certificates and diplomas is Dr. Ron Common, President of Sault College.
The following graduates AJ Kumar. Stefano Alberto Montestoca. Nicholas Sarlo. The following graduates have completed studies in accounting: Brittany Ann Agliani, distinction. Stephanie Ann Kane, distinction. Mackenzie Lee Disher, honors. Keegan Graham. Derek Cooper Janice. Alexandria Jewel Kennedy. Chelsea Violet Lundrigan. Krista Lynn Matt. The following graduates have completed studies in business management: Adia Mohanan. Urvashi Devi Nagasa, honors. Norvind Persand, honors.
It is with great honor that I announce the Public Relations and Event Management graduating class of 2017. Jennifer Alick, distinction. Ashley Chera, honors. Logan Kennedy, distinction. Stephen Mamigos. Anthony Miller, honors. Noble Thomas, distinction. Sharmina Yasmin, distinction.
The following graduates have completed study in the Building Maintenance and Construction Program. Tatiana May. Robert Gerbich. Andrew Joe. Cody McKinnon. Nicholas Muse. The following graduates have completed study in the Legal Office Assistant Program. Ashley Rowley, distinction. The following graduate has completed study in the Medical Transcription Program. Lindsay Swain, honors. The following graduate has completed study in the Project Management Program. Aaron Ingram, distinction.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud to present the graduates who have completed studies in the computer programming program. Tyler James Brestahan. Bradley James Duval, distinction. Sebastian Melissa, distinction. Todd Stephen Pigeon, distinction. Thomas Frederick Taylor. I am proud to present the graduates who have completed studies in the Computer Programmer Analyst Program. Albert Christopher Garofalo. Ian Joseph Lamont. Loris G. Rigolo. David Allen Scott.
The following graduates have completed studies in the Geographic Information Systems Application Specialist Program. Michelle Amanda Kyle, honors. Leah Pinch, honors. Leah is also graduating from the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Technician Program. Isha Ramtahal, honors.
I'm incredibly proud to present the following students who have completed their studies in digital film production. Justin Catamero. Adam Karskadin, honors. Adam Daw. Patrick Jersey Gill, honors. Jordan Kelly. Zach Trunzo. Andrew Weiss. Alex Young.
The following student has completed program, Digital Photography and Imaging, Sean Murphy Clement. Yes, I know the program. The following graduates have completed studies in graphic design. Tiffany Aliani, honors. Adam Boulion, honors. Gabrielle Fogg, honors. Alyssa Jones Thiessen. Melody Moffett, distinction.
Following graduates have completed studies in the video game art program. Chrissy Festing. Mihai Semenyuk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have one additional graduate who has completed studies in the computer programmer program. Navneet Kaur Sekhon.
Please join me in saluting the graduating class of 2017 from the School of Aviation, Trades, Technology, Natural Environment, and Business. Before we hear from the White Thunder Women, Obajuwan singers, and Bawading community jingle dress dancers who will send the graduates on their way, I would like to invite you to join us all together with your classmates, family, friends, and professors after the ceremony in the Common Link just outside the gymnasium. We would like to express our sincere thanks to the Sault College culinary and hospitality students for preparing and serving refreshments. I would now like to introduce the White Thunder Women Drum Group. Thank you again for your contribution to the ceremony.
Chi Miigwech, White Thunder Women. I now declare the convocation to be closed. Please remain in your seats until the platform party leaves. Thank you.